Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. Hasn't been a very good week for Liverpool. Two defeats in a row, two very, very lacklustre performances in a row to go along with the other seven, I think, that we've had this season so far. Except where we asked last week, where does the luck run out, rather? It's run out. Now we know what it's like to be on the other end of a last minute winner. In a game where, in fairness, Crystal Palace should have been out of sight. Only that we've got Alisson Becker in goal most of the time. That it wasn't 4 or 5 at half time, and that's being kind. If I'm being honest, it probably could have been a lot worse than that. But as I say, Alisson Becker came to the rescue time and time again. Their goal, another fucking our players don't know how to header it in our box at the minute. Um, every single one of them's got a fucking 10 bob head, and it's killing us at the minute. But as I say, first half against Palace, they should have been out of sight, out of mind.
Nearly turned it off, lad. I'll be honest. It was just. I think I said on the last one, you said, when's our luck going to run out? And I said, it'll be this weekend. I didn't back us one bit. I didn't fancy us the way we've been playing. I don't think we're in that mode where we can just flick a switch and be brilliant anymore. We're not at that level. It's just we either play well or we don't. And I think at the minute we're really not playing well. I've said after nearly every game this season, I haven't enjoyed it. I haven't enjoyed the football. I haven't enjoyed the lack of system, the lack of attack, and the lack of will to press or win the ball back. It's just been lacklustre from us. And it's the same against Palace. And unfortunately, Palace are unbeaten. They're still unbeaten because at the moment they're one of the better teams in the league. They tore us apart at Wembley. So we should have went there and used that as a little bit of a fucking stick and go, right, this is what we need to do. We know how they play. We know they can beat us. We know they can score goals. Let's play a different way and let's try and counter them and beat them. And didn't do it. We just give them a game. They absolutely battered us. And yeah, the chances they missed, we were lucky. And Alisson Becker sort of saved the day to a point. But sometimes I watch footy and I think that could have done us the world of good being 6 or 7-1 that, because we'd have shown the level we're at. That would have made up for all the performances and the wins we've fluked so far. And it would have caused like knee jerk from the coach, hopefully, to make the changes that we can all see he needs to make in the team. But at the minute, he's not making them, and we're just in the same boat.
Yeah. Do you think there's anything to be made from sort of, obviously we've made big squad changes this season, but obviously there's been a sort of big change in the backroom staff as well. Obviously John Heitinga leaving, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst coming in. Do you reckon that's got anything to do with it, or is that just sort of looking for an excuse a bit?
I don't know, because I sort of feel like if this was 10, 15 games in, and it was January and these signs were made in January, I'd almost say I don't think the manager's got anything to do with them, because he's got some of the best attacking players on the planet and he's not utilising any of them. He's not playing a system to get the best out of any of them. He's got a number 10 tracking back to the edge of our box to try and win possession. It's just not working, and the individuals are getting the blame. And although Arne Slot's not making the poor passes or the poor decisions, I don't think these know how to play the system he's implementing. It's boring, negative football. And you've got Florian Wirtz, who needs to be on the ball to make things happen. He's getting ridiculed because he hasn't got the ball. And when he has, he's trying to make something happen out of nothing. So he's often losing possession. Frimpong looks like a kid who's won a competition to play because he's the same. He needs the ball. Kirke's the same. And Isak will be absolutely fucking missing Murphy with all his heart. He's probably wrote him a love letter saying, take me back, because he hasn't had a single fucking chance. And the ones he's had, he's made himself. So, yeah, I think in terms of the team, I'm not blaming the players. I'm blaming the system that doesn't suit any of them. And maybe that system's come because our manager's missing Heitinger and maybe other backroom members of staff. But I don't know. I don't get it. I just honestly, feels so negative at the minute for a team that's at top of the league, and we have 1 point and we've showed mentality and we've won games late. It just feels all very negative at the moment. I don't know what's going to give for us to click into gear, because we're like 7 or 8 games in all competitions, and he's still playing the same team, the same crab at the back, making the same mistakes and losing possession over and over again. He plays him every fucking week. He went down the other day in the Galatasaray box, and I wanted him to be injured. Really, really wanted him to be injured, because it's the only way he's going to get took out the team. Kanate, by the way, in case people don't know. So, yeah, I don't understand it. I don't know what the system is, and I just can't see where we just click into gear. I don't think it's a flick of a switch like usual. Where we used to say, didn't we, like a team of 2 halves where we play really unbelievable or we play absolute shite. There's none of that. We're either decent, we get a little bit better than the first half or the second half, or we're just absolutely abhorrently poor to watch. I say, we had the Fire Stick on for the Palace game. My dad got a new telly. He was like, come and watch it. I was like, I don't want him. I really don't want him. He was like, we watch on the new telly. So I did, and it's the same Saturday. It's like, I went to footy on Tuesday, didn't want to watch it. Knew I wasn't going to be missing nothing. Went to footy, stupidly went to the pub for the second half to watch it, missed nothing. And then Saturday's the same, got a family meal at 7 o'clock, and I was debating going out before it, and I'm just not interested. And it's fucking weird. It's a weird feeling to not care about watching us because we're that boring.
Yeah, it's been, I think the negativity comes from the fact that anyone with 2 brain cells could see that this has been coming for a long time. And it's been pointed out a few times this week on social media. We've been poor since PSG away, and we done it there. We fluked it, big thanks to Alisson Becker. For me, we've played well once since that game, and that was Spurs when we got confirmed as champs. Other than that, I don't think I can't remember a game we've played well in since that PSG away game. So it's been coming for a long time, and winning the league sort of papered over everything, and people stopped caring. And after we got confirmed, we didn't win a game last season, and I was buzzing with the league, so I wasn't that bothered. But in the back of my mind, there was that little bit of this isn't quite right. We shouldn't be not winning a game after being confirmed champs. And everyone wrote it off because the lads were going on the piss and Slot was in Ibiza and things like that. But there was just that little bit in the back of my head going, this doesn't just sort of go away. And I think it's been proven right. I think Slot said it in his press conference. Teams the back end of last season played against us differently than they did the first half of last season. He said basically, Klopp walking away, he's coming as the new guy who nobody really knows. Everybody's thought, let's have a go at Liverpool, and it backfired on every single one of them, and we looked phenomenal. And as soon as everybody cottoned on and went, right, this fella actually fucking knows what he's doing, they've gone, right, okay, we need to change the way we play. And we've got the easiest blueprint to read in the league. That's the problem. We've got no way. As soon as you know how to play against that team, we're very easy to play against, and that's the problem. And no players fix that. Like you say, Isak isn't getting any service at the moment whatsoever. I think he had 4 touches against Galatasaray. The only one who's sort of taking the initiative and making things happen and being effective in making things happen is Ekitike. He's coming deep. He's getting the ball. He's getting us forward. It's weird to say, like you say, top of the league. We've lost 2 out of 8, and everything just feels wrong about the team at the minute. I seen a video of Diaz from a couple of seasons ago when he's fucking took, when he sent Walker and Rodri for a pie, and he's just absolutely rinsed them twice each in the same movement. And we've got nobody who does that now. We've got nobody who can get us forward like that. Don't get me wrong, I was growing not tired of Diaz, but I was a bit like, you always knew that as, like we said it last season, he'd take someone on, but then he'd try and come back and take him on again rather than cross it in. And that was that was the problem with Diaz. But we've got nobody that dynamic, nobody who gets you forward like that. Vert, he's trying his hardest, and I think I've seen it in all competitions. Him and Grealish have created the most chances out of any Premier League players this season. So he's obviously doing something right, and it's the ones further forward and around him that are letting him down in a way, in a sense. Yeah, it's just it's dire at the minute, and not in terms of position or anything like that, just in terms of performance, and because you just can't see us turning it round. You can't see where that good performance is going to come in. Like Chelsea tomorrow, they've got no Cole Palmer, they've got no Chalobah. Maresca said they've got 8 players missing, and they could put anyone there, and I just don't see where we get anything out the game at this moment in time.
Yeah, and I'm the same. I've just got no confidence in. I know we can play better. I just don't know what it is. I've just got no confidence in them at the minute. And it does sound very knee-jerk and very whiny, and maybe a little bit fucking over the top. But it's just, the main thing for me. You know, if we were absolutely battering teams and they were sneaking 1-0s against us, you'd be like, listen, I can see where we're heading here. We're playing well. We're doing this. We're just a bit unlucky. We're a bit shaky at the back, but we're not. We're letting nearly every team out the ball at Anfield and away. We're playing like the away team everywhere we play. When, as I say, we're not easy on the eye. We're not enjoyable to watch. We have like 20-minute spells against Atletico, 20 minutes against Everton. Never really done nothing against any of the others. Newcastle probably should have beat us. Bournemouth could have beat us. Palace beat us. Arsenal was probably our best game, where we probably thought that free kick going in was merited because we probably were the better team overall. But a draw there would have been possibly fair. Everton, if they had anything up front, would have equalised. We're just a, I don't know what it is. We're like a cocky boxer. I keep comparing us to boxers. I don't know why, but we're like an arrogant boxer who's dropping the arms and putting the face and pulling tongues, and then we get banged in the face and we get knocked down, and we keep doing it. We just keep letting them have the ball and letting them come at our goal and letting them get shots off, and it's like, enough's enough now. Fucking, we're not as good as we think we are. Let's start being on the front foot. Let's start attacking teams. Stabilise the defence. Put a fella in front of the defence to stabilise it, and then have the rest attacking, and then defend as a unit and attack as a unit. Everything's individual. Every single thing we do is on an individual wavelength. It's like a mix of 2 players pressing the same individuals, or the same players trying to get the ball and dribble. It's just non-stop of seeing the same thing not work, and it's frustrating. And as I say, if we were playing shit and winning games, we would paper over it. And if it comes to me and we'd won the league and the European Cup, you wouldn't give a fuck about the performances. But the season's that long, you need to be entertained. You need to enjoy going to the match. You need to enjoy watching your team. And at the minute, we're giving up our weekends for 10 minutes of half-decent footy a game. And the rest is letting the other team have the ball and pepper our goal with shots. And it's just not enjoyable. So, it could be whiny, but that's just how I feel at the moment. I said it before the loss to Palace. I said it obviously before the Galatasaray game. In both games, I knew we were going to lose. I was that close to betting on Galatasaray because they were fucking 4-1. I was going to do them because I just knew, and I thought I'm not being that much of a tit. But I actually called Palace 2-1 the other day as well. We're in like a league table where you predict the scores and put a fiver in, predict the score. Whoever gets the most scores or results right wins the pot, and I don't. I got 32 points because I done Palace 2-1. And that must be sick because I've never ever, I don't think, to as far back as the Hodgson days, I've ever felt like Liverpool wouldn't win footy matches. I've always felt like we're going to go in there and we've got it in us to win. And at this moment in time, I just don't think we have.
No, I know what you mean. It's weird, isn't it? Like you just always, no matter how bad we've been in the past, and no matter how fucking bad of a manager we've had at the club, you've always just gone, yeah, we're going to batter them. And yeah, it's like part of me does still believe it, but then there's a part of me that's also going, what are you lying to yourself for? Yeah, it's grim, and the Galatasaray one probably hurt more for me than the Palace one, because I'd say Palace, great team, great manager, absolutely annihilated us. Galatasaray, shite. They're not a good team at all. We gave. Don't get me wrong. The penalty wasn't a penalty in the slightest, and it would have been. Obviously, they didn't come. I didn't feel like they were going to score otherwise. If I'm being honest, I just don't think they were a good team whatsoever. And I think if even we turned up a little bit, we would have won the game in the end. But we just didn't. We had nothing about us again. Palace second half, we improved to an extent. We done better, but we couldn't have done worse after that first half. It was arguably the worst half of football I've ever seen from us. It was poor. I'd say second half, yeah, was better. A draw would have been unfair still. They deserved to win, and yeah, it's just one of them. But Galatasaray, I don't feel were a better team in the slightest. I think we were the better. We were a better team than them. We just didn't turn up front.
We gifted them so many chances as well, though. It's like they missed a few sitters where they should have scored. They could have went 2-3 ahead of us, and it's as I say, it's the fucking same crabs every week doing it, and the same crab who I just don't want to see play against Chelsea. I don't want him on the pitch. And one thing, what I will say with the manager, like, I've seen a few fucking e-reds online, like fucking calling for the head, and that's stupid, but there's a few things now the pressure's on, I'm not liking. Throwing individual players under the bus and stuff like that. I think he went way in too heavy on Ekitike with the red card. Maybe in his first press conference, yeah, call him stupid. He made 3 or 4 interviews, and he said he kept going on and on about it, which annoyed me. And then after the Palace game, he sort of blamed the goal on one of our players wanting to attack, and that we shouldn't be thinking this way, and we shouldn't be too attacking minded. No, we fucking should. We're a team that's going for the league title. Like, if Alisson catches that ball, you want one of your forwards to think, you know what, I'll try and get one here. And he's ridiculous. I think it's Gakpo he's had a go at, because Gakpo starts making tracks to bomb forward, which has no effect whatsoever on their goal, because Gakpo's nowhere near the ball, regardless. So it either goes to their striker and he scores, or it goes to Alisson and we counter attack. So I think Gakpo was within his right to try and preempt that. Our goalie would have the ball in his hands and make the run. And that's the type of players we want. We want players wanting to fucking go on to win the game. And again, that just shows the mindset the manager at this moment is sit back, take a draw, sit back, don't over attack, don't entertain, don't excite. And I just think it's all a little bit too much for. He hasn't been entertaining since he come in. We haven't really played entertaining, attacking, lovely football, but we've won games. But there's only so long, I think, winning games by 1 goal when you haven't really merited it can go on. I think we need to be entertained, we need to be excited, we need to look forward to our games, and at the moment we're not. I don't think there's anyone in the fan base who really, you used to fucking couldn't wait to go out to watch Liverpool, and at the minute I'm like, I'm not sure whether I'm watching it because I sort of know the outcome. I might watch match today if we win, but it's fucking weird. I feel so fucking dramatic, but I just can't get up for it at all. I don't know whether it's something going on in my head or whatever, but just the last thing on my mind is Liverpool, because it feels like a waste of an hour and a half of my time.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
No, I can't. As much as I'd like to, I can't really disagree. It's just the way it's been going. As I say, it has been coming. We've said it. Even going back to, like, you mentioned the Newcastle game there, they should have beat us. They had 10 men, and they should have beat us. It's like this is the level of performance we're putting out this season. Like, I think I thought everything was going to be signed with the Bournemouth game, because I think we got the 2-goal lead, they come back, and then we turned it on again, and we made sure we got the win. And I thought, all right, yeah, it's on. Opening day, fucking, bit of opening day bit of shit out the way kind of thing. Kick on now, carry on for the rest of the season, and obviously you're going to lose one or two here and there, but for the most part, carry on. And it just never happened. It's just kind of, we haven't shown what we can do in any game this season. You know, even I think Burnley is probably the one exception there. I mentioned it last time. I think Burnley, we battered them. We were all over them. Again, just probably lacked a little bit up front on the day. They defended for their lives. I'd say that was probably arguably our best performance of the season. But even that was still like sort of below the level where we've come to expect from this team after last season. And it's hard, and yet the pressure is on them a little bit this season now because we've won the league and everyone will be, you know, oh, you've got to go on and you've got to try and retain it, and you've spent 400 million this summer. So there's going to be pressure on him, and he's got to deal with it. I know what you're saying about some of his press conferences and things like that. I think I don't think he's changed his ways in the press conference, really. I think it's just because of the performances and stuff like that. These things are sort of sticking out a bit more. I think he's always kind of just being a bit straightforward, a bit on the nose with everything. But because we were so good last season, you laugh it off and you're not asked. And then this season, because it has been worse, you're picking up on these things and going, hang on a minute, I'm not too sure about that. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
So, yeah, look, we've got the quality in the squad to turn it around. We've got the quality within that starting 11 to turn it around. Even including Konate, we've got the quality there to turn it around. But at the moment, yeah, I've seen people online going, you know, 5 or 6 of them shouldn't be starting. And while I agree, at the same time, it's like, yeah, fair enough. But who do you bring in? Like, you can't expect to take 5 or 6 players out your starting lineup and expect the performance to be there, especially with, you know, the likes of Chiesa. Everyone was fuming, me included, for a while, that he wasn't in the squad for Galatasaray. Then it obviously turned out he had a knock. You know, with his injury record, is he going to be able to come in? And people, you know, if anyone wants Salah dropped, realistically, can we rely on him long term in that sense? Same with somebody like Joe Gomez to replace Konate. We've got to use our centre halves very, very carefully until January because of obviously Leone's injury. But yeah, I mean, even the decision to play, you know, you're playing Frimpong and Szoboszlai in the same game starting, and yet you throw Szoboszlai right back and Frimpong right wing, and it's just like, yeah, Szoboszlai played very well there as a makeshift last resort right back. But when you've got a right back, don't put him at right back because you've got a fucking right back. Like, it's mind boggling. And I want to say I get it in a way, but I don't, because, like, yeah, fair enough. If Frimpong has attacking qualities that you want to try and utilise as a winger because he can play there, fair enough. But start Conor Bradley as well then. Don't put one of your most creative players at right back, because as much as we don't want to talk about him and he was a rat, the only creative player from that position was Trent. He perfected it in a creative sense. Obviously, defensively left an awful lot to be desired, but creatively, nobody done it better than Trent. So don't try and replicate it.
Tell you what I will say is that Trent's gone and we're as bad, if not worse, defensively as we've ever been. And we are absolutely fucking showing how much we needed as creativity, because we're creating nothing. We're playing a completely different way, and that's the difference. That if you have the likes of Florian Wirtz and Isak and Ekitike playing alongside a player like Trent, who just wants to get you on the front foot, and that's all he cares about and that's all he thinks about, then fucking that's what you get. You get fed, you get attacks, you get goals. Like, I'm seeing Frimpong go up and not be able to string a pass together. I'm seeing Bradley struggling, to be honest. He's not getting back into it as we'd expect. He's giving the ball away, he's getting skipped past, and he's making daft fouls. And then, like, you're just seeing the way we play, and it's very much to the right, cut inside, backwards, to the right, to the middle, backwards. And there's no one, unless the ball goes to Vert in the middle, it's not shifting along, it's not going up the pitch. It goes to McAllister, or it goes to Szoboszlai, or it goes to the centre halves, and it goes back or sideways. We're just quite happy to have the ball in a little box in our own half, and it's just bad to watch. Really, it's mind-boggling to watch, because you're thinking, there's Florian Wirtz there, 120 mil player, and there's Isak, and there's Ekitike, and there's Mo Salah. Give them the fucking ball and let them do something. Stop passing it backwards around Van Dijk. Can Arte doing this fucking standing on the ball thing and then like skipping with it 3 yards and then Cruyff turning and passing it back? Fucking stop giving them the ball. Don't pass in the ball ever again. Stop doing it. It's pointless. It's a waste of time. Bypassing. Don't know whether you realise, but I'm not his biggest fan. I got called a racist.
Didn't notice, to be honest.
For comparing them to Sakho.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Not the fact that they're both absolutely terrible at times and could both flip it on its head and be absolutely brilliant, but it was because they were both black. And the only reason was because of that, obviously. But I would have called him Lovren, but Lovren was better than him. So simple as that. It's just fucking frustrating watching. And I've called him Sakho for years, haven't I?
Yeah.
That he's the closest to, and Sakho again. Big lad, big smiley. He was a presence. He was an absolute unit. Dead smiley. Looked like the Joker of the pack. Everyone liked him as a person. Off the pitch, he'd done charitable things, and we couldn't like him more. When we were getting rid of him, we were probably a bit gutted because he was a character. But he could cost you a game in the blink of an eye. And that's where we're at with Konaté. Konaté could be absolutely colossal at times, and then concentration lapse for 10 minutes and he's cost you the game, or he's cost you 3 chances where Alisson's now injured because of the likes of the mistakes. So yeah, it's a mad situation. I think defensively we're worse than we've seen at any point under Arne Slot at the least. Possibly worse defensively than we've seen under the clock time. Midfield doesn't really press, doesn't really try and win the ball back, and when it does, it just gives it away anyway. And up front, we're just absolutely, you might as well not play any of them. You might as well play Szoboszlai right back and Conor Bradley right wing, Frimpong up front, because they hardly touch the ball anyway, so it makes no fucking difference. So until he figures out a system to fit these players, and it's a dead basic system. It's 4 at the back with your most defensive players, so you're a bit more stable. You have Gravenberch back sitting in front of the defence again. You have your 2 midfielders. One of them is Szoboszlai because he presses like fuck, and then you have Salah, your left winger, whoever you want to pick, and one of your strikers, whoever you want to pick. That team. You don't have to play Wirtz. You don't have to play Wirtz because he's cost 120 mil. If you're not going to play to his strengths, fucking sell him. If you're not going to utilise the man and get him on the ball, and you're going to just play fucking hoofball and that, then sell him. He's pointless. But if you want to put him in the middle and utilise him as a number 10 and get him on the ball and get him creating, then change your system to suit him, like Man City did with Haaland. Change your system to suit the best players in your team. The system doesn't fit Salah, it doesn't fit Gakpo, it doesn't fit Frimpong, it doesn't fit Kerkez, it doesn't fit Wirtz, it doesn't fit Isaac. So what is the fucking point? Play a system that suits any of them. At the moment, against Chelsea, you're taking Kerkez out for Robbo. This is my team. Robbo, stabilise. Conor Bradley right back, stabilise. Gomez at centre half to stabilise. Salah on the right, Gakpo on the left, Isak up front, and you're talking Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai. It's a stabilised team.
Would you actually stick with? Would you stick with McAllister? Obviously, he started the season very poorly. I think we touched on it last episode. He still hasn't hit the heights. I've seen a lot of sort of hate for Curtis Jones online this week, but he's been after Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, he's been our third best midfielder. I know that, don't get me wrong, there's a big gap between those two and the rest of the midfielders currently, but on form, I'm starting Jones over McAllister, if I'm being completely honest.
I think the thing with McAllister is he's had a lot less of a pre-season and he needs games. But we need to play knowing that he's struggling a little bit, get him some minutes, get his fitness up, and have Gravenberch sat behind him to cover. I think he's still got that little bit of bite in him that Jones lacks. I think he's going to put a foot in where Jones doesn't. But yeah, he's keeping hold of the ball too long. He's losing possession too much. Again, I think your better players at the moment are looking absolutely shite because they're trying to make stuff happen in a team that's not being asked to make stuff happen. That's my point of view, is that I think all your better players are trying to think outside the box and do something, and it's affecting their game because the other players aren't expecting them types of pass. We're getting intercepted too easy because we're a bit lacklustre. I just think I feel like I'm well over the top on the system, but I just don't see the system. I don't know what we're meant to be doing. I couldn't actually sit there if someone put me in a debate and said, how's Liverpool playing? I couldn't tell you. Don't know what the manager's idea is. I don't know what the players are doing. I don't know what we're meant to be doing. I don't get the system. I just can't understand it. It's just literally play like the away team and let them have most of the ball, but don't even hardly counter-attack. When you've got the chance to counter-attack, hold on to it for as long as you possibly can until you get tackled and then let them have a shot. That's our system at the minute.
You say you're being too hard on the system, but as you've just sort of gone into there, like, what system? You can't go too hard on a system if there's not a system there to go in on, you know what I mean? And that is the problem. We've got one way of playing at the moment and everybody knows what it is. So, yeah, Palace dominated us because they knew exactly how we were going to play. And the thing is, the game starts off a bit more open. We get hold of the ball and then we don't really go forward with it. And then teams go, okay, these aren't doing anything here. Sit back, nullify them, get the ball, counter. That's all you win the game, and that's all you've got to do. And that's what we're seeing every single game at the minute. The teams are playing with two very solid rows of four in front of the goal, and we just cannot break it down for the life of us. Frimpong got on the ball a fair bit against Galatasaray, and I think 95% of his crosses were blocked by the first man. And it's great getting into those positions, but it's like it's pointless if it's just going to hit the first man every single time. He needed to mix it up a bit more. He needed to try something different. The whole team needs to try something different. Like, do we go back? Do we go back to fucking prehistoric times and go 4-4-2, as Mike Bassett said? Do you play Isak and Ekitike up front together? Ekitike fucking nodding the ball on, holding it up for Isak to get in behind. Like, do we do something like that? We've got to do something. We've spent, I know it's not a case of the money, but we've brought in all these fantastic players, and we know the fantastic players. Like you say, we're just not utilising any of them. I've said it time and time again, and the only one who looks like he knows what he's doing at times on that pitch is Ekitike, in a forward sense anyway. Van Dijk, to his credit, I don't think has played badly this season. I think he's been let down by everyone else around him. Same with Alisson, to be fair. But moving forward, it's Ekitike. Looks like the only one who knows what he's doing. Szoboszlai and Gravenberch have been great, and they have these flashes, but even they have been poor the last couple in the midfield. The midfield has been non-existent at times the last few games. So yeah, something's got to change. You would think we are about to get relegated by the way we're going on here. So appreciate it probably does sound more dramatic than what it maybe is, but
imagine us actually being physically shite for a long term, because I would just combust into nothing if this is our reaction at losing one league game and a champ. But to be fair, we lost the Champions League game and he could have scored 3 or 4 past us down to our own error. Palace just obliterated our system, or lack of, and our defensive vulnerabilities. Southampton could have beat us. We fluked the Southampton one and some of the league. So we could really be sat in like fucking 12th or 13th in the league, realistically. Could have drew a Champions League game and lost the Champions League game and be out of a cup if things were a slightly bit different. So luckily that's not the case. We are going over the top based on if you look at overall points and where we're at, we are going way over the top. But I think anyone who listens to us and anyone who watches footy can see that this is not a knee-jerk reaction. This is something that's been happening, something that has been quite visible since last season. We weren't very enjoyable to watch last season. We've come this season and we're worse again, and we look even worse at the back. So it's a bit of a negative time, whilst we're still doing all right. And I think that's why we're sort of saying it, is that if it gets picked up on now, it doesn't hinder our season. We can crack on. But in a season of transition, you know, I've said myself, we need to have patience because of the Jota situation, and we do forget that they are human beings and that they are reacting. But the Jota situation doesn't make Konate pass a ball to the striker, and it doesn't make, you know, us not do the right decisions at the right time. I understand if they look a bit lethargic and they look a bit leggy and they just don't look like a team, that could be a massive, you know, consequence of the Jota situation. But that I'm not getting that from it. I'm just getting individuals are making terrible errors. I think the one player I'd say has been really affected is Salah. I would put his performances down to Jota, and I think he is fucking down, absolutely really down, and I don't know how he's coping with it. The likes of Robbo, who's one of his best mates, has turned up loads and he's fighting, and you can see that he's spun it on its head a bit, where I think you can see when Salah's taking the penalty and he's looking up to the sky and pointing to the sky and stuff, as in nice one, Jots. But I don't think we can blame the Jota situation for the individual errors. So whilst I can say we can have patience and we can sort of understand, and I said it before, the season, you know, if the season amounts to absolutely fucking nothing and they need to get themselves together and we go again, you can understand it. But in the heat of the moment and at the time and at the moment when you're seeing errors and lack of effort, and you can't put it down to Jota, you can only put it down to error and mistakes. And I think that's where we're at the minute.
I know, I get what you're saying about Jota, and we said that at the start of the season about it all, and even Maresca, to his credit, he said some nice words about it all. In his press conference, said like the way Liverpool have started the season under the circumstances surrounding it all has been amazing. Like he's someone who knows what it's like to go through something like that. When he was a player with Sevilla, they had I think his name was Antonio. I'm not sure if it was Antonio, but Puerta passed away while he was playing for them in 2007, and he was a player at the time. So he knows what it's like to go through this kind of situation. So nice of him to acknowledge that it has been difficult in that sense for us. And I think while I do agree, it does have a part to play to an extent. I think if the performances weren't of a similar level the back end of last season, it would be more, that would make more sense. I think because of some of the performances the back end of last season, where again we were probably fluking a win here and there. If that wasn't the case and we were still blitzing everybody the back end of last season, it'd be more obvious, you know. So definitely it's definitely a factor. It can't not be a factor because of the abruptness and the sadness of it.
I've seen like other media outlets, if you want, some other podcasts saying, "Oh, all news coming out saying, you know, we'll understand if they're not as good because of Jota, and where's your patience now and all that." And you're like, it's hard to not go back on what you've said, really, because you're watching it live, you're watching it in the heat of the moment, and you get frustrated and you say things with a cob on, and you're like, again, footy's our life, and it really is. So yeah, we can have patience and all that, but realistically, as I say, when you're watching the same person over and over again for 3 years, giving the ball away, you can't put that down to anything else other than the player's ability, and you can't put the lack of the press and all that down to anything else other than the manager's system. And you know what I mean? So when you're watching things with your own eyes in front of you, there is, as I say, with Salah, you can go, he's not himself. And I put that down to Jota. He is not himself. He's not the same. He hasn't got the same body language as he's had last season. He looks a different person. He looks hurt, which I'm sure they all are, but he feels like he's took it on a bit more. I think maybe he's one of the older players. He's probably trying to be there for others as well. So, yeah, it is hard, and we have got to try and show a bit of patience at times. But as I say, for me, the big worry is the lack of system, and I don't think there's anything other than the manager implementing it that can be blamed. And again, I'd love the manager to come out and go, listen, that's not what I'm trying to implement. That's not my system. I want to play free-flowing, attacking football from the wings to the middle, from the back, press high, win the ball, score a goal. But we don't do any of that anymore. I feel like we rely on individuals to do the pressing. It's not a team. We don't press as a team. We just run Szoboszlai into the ground and he runs after everyone on his own. McAllister hardly presses. Gravenberch, depending on where he is on the pitch. Really, Salah, the forward line, are not really running around after defenders for the ball. It's just very static and lethargic until it gets to midfield, and then Szoboszlai has to have a go. So yeah, we have got to be a bit patient, and we are at a position where we can go, listen, we're all right for a few more mistakes and a few more points dropped, and shouldn't bother us too much. But until the performances pick up, we can't really say we're enjoying watching us, and that's the key thing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just
it's mad. Like it's mad. Like you're waiting for your phone to go. And where are you going for the match? What are you doing? And I'm like, I hope no one texts me. Don't want to go and watch them. I don't want to go out for it. I want to sit in the house and moan about it. But again, we could put 5 past Chelsea, and it's all like, fuck it. I just want that moment where we go, we've arrived. This is the Liverpool. Like we're dinking the ball over people and that. You've seen spells of it for like 5 minutes, individual class, like Gravenberch against Everton. But it happens, and then it's like they'll do something to combat that. They'll just pass it back to the goalie from 40 yards or something when we're on the attack. I just want that moment where we like 20 minutes against Everton, we look like a real team. Against Atletico, we took the piss for 20 minutes, half an hour, but then we probably could have lost that game as well. We fall apart at the seams when they attack us. So I just want that one game where we're perfect nearly. We defend as a unit, we attack as a unit, we press properly, and we fight for a win. Do you know what I mean? I want to see us looking like Liverpool at the moment. Doesn't feel like I'm watching Liverpool, and it might be because there's loads of new players and it's not effectively it's a new Liverpool, but I don't feel like I'm watching Liverpool anymore when I'm watching it. There's like sort of know exactly how it's going to pan out and what we're going to do, and you know where the next pass is going, sideways or backwards, and you know there's not going to be like a mad moment where you just break out and nothing, because as soon as that option comes, we turn around and go backwards. It's frustrating me. It's just mad not enjoying it. I can't explain it.
No, I get it. And obviously, you know, this all, as you mentioned before, has now cost Alisson in a sense as well, because obviously the chance that they had, what got him injured, come from Konaté's mistake. Although I'd love to know how he's injured his hamstring, making us safe. Like, quite perplexed by that, I must admit. Even as me, a chronically unfit human being, who's used to playing in goal more often than not. Never quite, not quite sure about that one. But Alisson, as I put on the ticker going across there, he gets injured every single season. That's
about
why
the same time every year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, is he like Neymar? Has he got to go and like go to his sister's birthday every year or something like that? But no, we're used to it. As gutting as it is to miss somebody like Alisson, we're used to it. Being a number 2 at Liverpool, the reason you get called the best number 2 in the world is because you get plenty of game time to show it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We had it with Kelleher last season and now Mamardashvili. I've been excited to see more of him anyway. I'd rather it not come because of Alisson's injury, don't get me wrong, but I have been excited to see more of him. So
There's
now
be fucking loads of them, won't you?
No, yeah, fucking
all you'll see on our telly is fucking Mamardashvili. Save after save, hopefully.
Hopefully not. I hope I don't hardly fucking see him in the Chelsea game, to be quite honest with you.
You know how it's on a roll, lad.
I do, but let me have this. So yeah, it's, I'd say you'd be more gutted about it if it didn't happen every season.
You just
but it does.
expect it, don't you? You're waiting for when.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's if you only listen to us this weekend, then it's all fucking doom and gloom, isn't it? But
it's not, because, as I said before, we've got 3 points on the board in the Champions League. We're into the next round of the cup, and we're sat top of the league. It's looking like the oppositions are looking like they're going from strength to strength now. They found their little level of form, and they're utilising their players and playing in a way that suits them. And as I say, I'm sort of watching. You go from watching Arsenal are a bit similar to us, where they just pass it round and want to walk it into the net, and it's fucking boring. But then you see that game against Newcastle, and it was just end to end. It was just a fantastic game of footy. And then I just think, I want to be part of that. I want to be watching that type of footy for my own team.
Yeah, it's something's got to change. I think we have said it this season already. I think once it does actually click for this team, I think we'll be unbelievable. As I mentioned before, Florian Wirtz, he's getting a lot of stick, and he's a flop and all this, that, and the other. One, I think you're idiotic to be writing him off after 8 games, for one. But as I mentioned before, most chances created this season along with Grealish, so he's obviously doing something right. The chances just aren't obviously getting finished off. The fullbacks I think they both had like a couple of good games, and then for the most part, it's just been a bit lacking. To be kind about it. And then again, Isak, you can't really judge him on anything yet because we've barely given him a sniff. And like you said, any chance he is getting, he's creating himself. And it was the same with Southampton. He was creating most of the chances himself, and then obviously the one he should have buried, he fucking hit it straight at the keeper. And again, as I keep saying, the only one who does look like he's doing everything in his power at the minute, and it's working for him, is Ekitike. I think the crowd absolutely loves him already. All the fans absolutely love him already. He's endeared himself to us quickly. He's doing everything right at the moment, barring the fucking sending off in the cup. So yeah, look, it's gonna happen for us. It's gonna turn around. We've just got to do it sooner rather than later, because at this moment in time, I think every team in the league, maybe barring your sort of one right at the bottom, they'll all be absolutely salivating at the thought of playing us at the minute. Chelsea tomorrow, with the players that they've got missing, I don't think they're going into that with any real concerns based on our performances this season.
That's it, because they're playing the champions, they're hosting the champions, and it'd be like, if we can sit back and frustrate them, which we know we can, and hit them on the counter, ball over the top, we know they can't defend that. We've got a chance of winning the game, and you can't argue with that. So again, I just want to see us go and play attacking football, but I sort of know it's not going to be the case. We're probably going to go in and go, listen, he's going to sit back, try and pass away through it, try and find. Again, I feel like the players we've lost fit that type of system. The likes of Luis Diaz and your Harvey Elliott, Nunes, like coming on off the bench would have made well more difference than what we're doing at the moment. I just don't think we've got any real we don't look like we've got any threat going forward. No one looks scared of us. No one looks at our starting 11 and goes, they should, because the quality there that is ridiculous. But as I say, it's not getting utilised. It's not getting played in that manner. Like, I don't really want to be seeing Florian Wirtz at the edge of our box with the ball. I want him the ball getting put to him in the middle of the park or in outside their box and being able to do something with it. And the fact that we've got him running around like a headless chicken just shows where we're at the minute. And he's the scapegoat for all the E-Reds at the minute. He's worth 115, 20 mil, whatever. You forget he's a 21-year-old lad who's never played in this league before. It's a faster pace, and he's playing with a gang of lads who haven't fucking really played together as well. So it's not like he's the only sign and he's coming in to make things better. We've changed the whole fucking outfit of the team, and at this minute in time, it's not working. So as I say, that's why I'll be going back to basics against Chelsea and trying to get back to winning ways and looking secure, looking steady, and attacking like we know we can. I'd also contradict that a little bit where with the team I said before, I wouldn't mind seeing us go like try a 4-1-2-1-2 and having Gravenberch in front of the defence, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Wirtz in the tip of the diamond, and then having the two strikers.
Yeah, it's hard because I think as fans we can see to an extent what we feel we need to do and how we can get some of these players better implemented. And as I said before, do we go with something as basic as a 4-4-2 to get both attackers into the game and stuff like that? But it's hard. I think we've just got to let it play out and see if the performances do start picking up. I think Slot will know that these performances haven't been good enough. And if he can't see it, then we've got other problems. But surely he can't not be seeing the performance issues. And you get away with it because you're getting wins and you're getting last minute winners in pretty much every game. But we knew it weren't going to continue. And look, these last two games should be the kick up the arse we need. So yeah, look, got to go into it with confidence tomorrow that the lads will hopefully, this is the game that they'll turn it around and turn up and put on a performance of champions and go there and spoil the party for them a little bit because again they're sort of riding high to an extent. I know they got beat by United, but I think after Robert Sanchez getting sent off and stuff like that, you'd expect it. I think overall they've played all right this season so far. So they'll be confident that they can go and beat us on current form. But we've got to show them that we're over that now and go and put a performance in.
So what we need to do, we just need to say steady it, go back to basics and play our footy, play the Liverpool way. Defend as a unit, attack as a unit, and press like fuck and work hard. And that's all you can ask. And as I say, if they're going at someone's goal and we're having 20 shots and there's fucking 15 on target and the keeper's at a blinder and we get beat 1-0, you go, fucking hell, gutted, we've just lost 1-0, we should have won that, we battered them. And you come on here and you talk and you're like, you can't really fucking knock them. They've done everything bar and score because their keeper's at a blinder. We're not seeing none of that. And that's all I want. I want us to flick the switch and go, we're going to fucking go for these today. And if we get 2 goals, fucking forget taking your foot off the gas. Go gung-ho, go for them. And that's all I want to see. I just want to see free-flowing attacking football. And as I said in the last one, until I do, I don't think I'll be very happy because I just want to be entertained and I just want to feel like I'm watching Liverpool. And at the minute it doesn't. And I think there's a few teams playing a similar way where they haven't really got an identity, and you wouldn't, if you put them in fucking a different colour shirt, you wouldn't know who you were watching. Whereas the Jurgen Klopp team and the Guardiola team and the Invincibles and Barcelona could paint them all black or white or whatever, and them all look the exact same, and watch them play footy, and you could identify it, you could know who it was. At the minute, I don't know who we are. And I couldn't tell you. And that's my biggest issue, is to just want to see us playing the Liverpool way.
Yeah, I agree. So look, we're gonna wrap this one up there. Hopefully, we can come to you next week with a bit more positivity. After hopefully a great performance and 3 points. But you know what we're like. We always do like to try and end on as much of a positive note as possible. So with that being said, the positive note this week is that after these games, it's the international, buddy. First time I've been happy about it.
I'm going to ask you, have you got any questions from last time?
Have I got any questions? I did. Let me go back and check a couple of things. Give me a minute. I was unprepared, even though I shouldn't have been, because of the negativity.
No, do you know what? I think anyone listening to this will probably think around and go, that was fucking morbid, that. But it's just, again, we come on here and we have our chat and it's how we feel at the fucking time. And I think if it had got on this after Palace and after Galatasaray, it'd have been 10 times worse. And I think, I don't know, there's just something doesn't quite sit right with me at the minute with the way things are going. For the footy players that we've got available, the lack of interest in going forward is just baffling me.
Yeah.
And I just wish I could, you know, if we had an injury in the midfield, we would be like, that player's out so we can't push the ball up as fast or whatever. It's just, it's I don't know what they're being told to do. It might be individuals' confidence and the manager might be fucking willing them to go forward and they're shitting themselves and going back. I don't know. I hope that is the case and it's not that he's telling them not to really attack as often as we should. But, you know, Arnie Slot, anyone doubting him at this stage after what he's achieved is a lunatic. But you can look at a few of the weaknesses and you can look at some of the stubbornness and some of the comments he's made. And again, as you just said, we might be looking into that too deep because of the performances now. But I've always said it with me, I'll back a manager to the absolute hilt as long as he's on the same wavelength as us. Said it about Brendan Rodgers, and then we started losing games and he was doing us, obviously, he showed great character and he's a beautiful human being and all that bollocks. And you're like, we're just being twatted 3-0 there, mate. There was no character, showed no character other than not walking off the pitch because we've been mauled. And that's, at the minute, he's saying a few things that are setting a few little fucking alarm bells off where he's having a go at individual players instead of like saying, yeah, I got it wrong, things like that. But it's not amazing at the minute. Just want to. I can't get. When I watch his final team and I just watch them one touching it round the midfield and dinking it out wide and over into the box and playing stunning, unbelievable football. And I'm licking my lips going, when's that going to be us? There's little senses of it. Like that Atletico game, I think I said to you, that's where we should be at. That 20 minutes spell we had against them was just captivating. You just wanted to watch it all day. It was brilliant. It was stunning footy. And then we get to 2 goals and he takes the foot off the gas and then our eggs just completely go. And I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it is concentration levels or just panic when we haven't got possession, but we just need to have the ball more and we need to be believing in ourselves that we can go on and we can hurt teams and rip them apart and punish them. But with them players on the pitch, lad, we should be able to beat absolutely anyone on the planet.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, no, I can't disagree with anything you said there. To be honest, to answer your question about the questions, yes, we do. I've 1 or 2
they
left
might
over.
lighten us up a little bit.
Hopefully.
The fucking Reds,
I mean, well, the first one is the one I didn't ask from Kev last time. I think there was only one I didn't ask from him last time. Let me double check again. I wouldn't just look like, but just want to make sure. Yeah, we asked about that. Okay, yeah. So, the one I never asked from last time was, if we win the league or the cup competition this season, do you think we should have a winners' medal allocated for Jota?
No. It's horrible and it's harsh, but he hasn't played, so no. I think you can overdo it. I think I've said it before. Like, do you do it this once or do you do it every year? Or, you know, I think the song on the 20th minute that's brilliant. I think that needs to stay, but I think it needs to be from the heart and not generic because it's the 20th minute. I think it's already starting to sound a little bit dull and forced. And you want that to be like, and especially like a fucking crying call, like a rally to the players that are on the pitch for Jota. If you get me, it's got to be up and seats banged and everyone proper going for it like it was at the beginning. It's sort of fizzled out a bit now, so it's just like people like, oh, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if you're gonna get up and sing the Jota song on the 20 minute, do it with all your heart, like you're singing that Walk Alone. Proper, get it out there, belt it out as loud and proud as you can, and that's your rally to the players to pick themselves up and fucking go and win the game. In terms of medal, no, I think unfortunately, I know he remains past the squad forever sort of thing, and he's on the website and he's still number 20 in that. But no, I don't think you can. I don't think you can do that. And I say the same for the place he's got in the dressing room. I think his shirt's still up, and there's an empty space where he should be. And I think that looking at that as a footy player about to go and play footy is just heartbreaking. So I think that'd be something. If I was captain, I'd be saying, listen, it was nice. It was a nice touch the first game, but you know that's doing us no good. See the empty space. I think that makes it worse than anything. You can't really move on when you dwell on things.
You're constantly reminded of it.
Like, yeah, out of sight, out of mind, sort of thing, innit? You can remember in your own way, your own personal way, but seeing it every single day and every match just might bring it home. And again, these could be characteristics and why individuals are really struggling, but who knows? But no, to be a bit grim, I would say no medal.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. To be honest, I think the club has done a lot to make sure he's remembered and honoured forever. Anyway, obviously, as we say, he's always number 20. The number's been retired, so nobody else is ever getting that number. He remains a part of the squad on the website. I think in the store, his name is still up as part of the squad there in terms of when you're looking at like getting a name on the back and stuff like that. I do think they'll probably erect something at the ground for him, whether it's a plaque or something or other. I think there's probably going to end up being something in the works towards that. So yeah, I don't think he should be allocated the medal because I also think the players themselves will, if we win anything, will probably do their own personal. This is for Jota type of thing. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna. Anything we do this season is going to be for him in the minds of the players to an extent. Anyway, I feel so. I don't think. I think it's just. Yeah, I don't think it's needed. In that sense, I think we've done lots about it already, and I do think there will be more to come. But I just don't think that is the right gesture to make. I think there's if we want to continue to remember and honour them, I think there's more fitting ways we can do that.
I think something you just said just struck a chord with me, like when you just said, like in the players' minds, if they win this season, it's for him. So when we're discussing whether it has had an effect on the players, when you're seeing the mistakes we're making, where we're trying to force things and we're trying to sort of do things quick, maybe that is a thought in the back of their heads, like just do something we wouldn't usually do to try and to get this game won, and maybe that isn't like a sort of effect on them where they're not thinking rationally and they're not thinking with, educated decisions, knowing what the right pass to make in that moment. So maybe they are just thinking, fuck it, let's go with this and see if we can get us on the front foot and go on to win the game. And as I said, I didn't want to be too negative, but we've obviously shown that we can go on and win games late, and you do have your little spiritual people who think that a lot of that's down to Jota. But then you've also got to look on the other side. Where was he for Palace? Where was he for Galatasaray? So I think he is, like, some people want to believe that he's there and he's around them and he's helping us. And I think if the players want to believe that, and hopefully he can help us further on in the season. But yeah, I think when you look at the big picture and you do think a little moments, and you might have players like in a moment of madness where the ball's at the end of the park, say for instance Canate, and he's just fucking looking for Jota sort of thing, and then before you know it, the ball's back our end and his head's gone. Do you know what I mean? So there is, you can look at all of it. It's easy. It is easy to fucking ridicule them and have a go at them. But yeah, I think in the big picture there is probably other issues going on other than the footy. But we have calmed down now, so I'm back in mode. But no, I think rationally thinking, when you don't look at the footy and you do think of things, I think I've heard Carragher say loads of times about having been on the pitch and getting deja vu and thinking in his head, this has happened before, I've seen this before. Maybe little bits of that's creeping into some of them as well, where they're thinking, fucking hell, that was Jota. Or if he was here now, this, do you know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, I was defending the team there. I think there could be obvious effects that we don't really think we should be believing that are possible, but we can't explain it. And we can't defend or fucking deny it sort of thing. So
yeah. So did I miss any others? Okay, so another one that was the only one I missed from Kev anyway. So from your little Jedi, actually very normal one and should actually cheer us up a bit. Chiesa's chant is up there with the best we've heard before, in his opinion anyway. But what's your all-time favourite?
Torres.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Easy.
Torres. Electrifying. And I think they brought it back for Jota, but it was terrible. So it was a terrible version of an unbelievable song. It's just the best. One of the loudest I've ever heard Anfield was against Arsenal at half time in the Champions League when he scored that worldie, and the cop was absolutely ballistic, mate. It was mad. I felt like it could crumble. It was fucking so loud for like 10 minutes straight at half time from the concourses. It's very rare at half time you've got people singing in the stands, and that was bouncing. There was people bouncing and dancing, and that it was fucking unbelievable. So yeah, I often try and put a new version of that in my head for a striker, often a number 9. It never quite cuts the same as the Torres one, so it is best being left where it is. And I would love every now and again to still sing it because it's boss.
Yeah, it was a good one. I think for me, in terms of just overall creativity, even though he was an absolute crab of a footballer, Ozan Kabak was up there. Just for pure creativity, like who's listened to that and gone, I can make a song for the fucking Ozan Kabak out of this.
He's done it for Isak now, haven't he?
After done it for the fucking 11,
So,
that one,
yeah. It's the same, but with Isak instead of Kabak.
I haven't heard it. I'm not sure if I want to, in all honesty. I think Torres is definitely up there, but I think for me, and just because every time I hear the proper song, I still replace the words with that one, is Suarez.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that song, I sing the Suarez version.
That was a belter as well.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like what I said before, like Chiesa is a little bit of a cult hero, and he's probably got probably the best song we've got at the moment. But your best players should have the best songs. Do you know what I mean? Like you've always had, but then again, you've got like we've had the Gerrard chant sort of thing. We had Team of Carragher's for Carragher, John Arne Riise. He had it, proper songs where we are actually singing, and then Torres, Suarez. And then again, you have players like little cult heroes like your Nunes and your Cisse's that just get the name chanted. But yeah, I'd like to. Obviously, the new players have done nothing yet. I'd love Szoboszlai to get a proper song. McAllister's got a decent song. Salah's could probably be better.
Yeah, Salah's is up there.
That is one. Salah's is another one where you just think, for what he's done for this club, when his song goes off, it should go off like everyone stood up and it being rapturous. But it's just one of them plays where it seems it's just fizzled out and it hardly gets sung. It's a weird one.
Another one I agree with that 100%. I think that's one that's kind of lost its sort of vigor a little bit. It's like he scores and it gets sung, but there's no real like commitment to it anymore.
I think because it's so expected from him.
Yeah,
and that's
maybe.
credit to him. It's like you just expect him. It's not like an exciting thing when Mo Salah scores anymore because you're like, oh, again.
True.
It's exciting this season because he's done fucking nothing. But I would like to see that form again.
I know, yeah. Another one, another good one now. Speaking of cult heroes, Divock Origi.
Oh, it's fucking Saturday night, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
A belter. His was an absolute belter. Who else was there?
I think we are up, like our fans are up there in terms of creative songs for players. Like I don't think many do as many as we do.
No,
and that sort of sets us apart.
Anyway, don't they?
Yeah, true.
Who else was there? Coming up.
Crouchy, does this count?
Yeah,
Louis Garcia.
Louis Garcia, yeah.
Louis Garcia's one was boss. What was
the best midfield in the world?
That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't remember what it was called.
That was a belt of that. Yeah, there's loads, isn't it? I think that's just for pure electricity, Torres, but even that Nike advert years ago. And they've got like Liverpool turning into Spain and they're selling tapas, and it was just, I think it's a guitar or whatever, just playing the background music to that. And it just gave me shivers. And just Torres, my favourite ever.
I know. Well, that did cheer us up a bit anyway, so I'm glad to save that till today. Anyway, so yeah, let's wrap it up there after that lovely minor outburst. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening. I don't know fucking if you're going to get it in before the match because we kick off at 5:30 tomorrow, so you haven't got a lot of time, so hurry up and get it in. But yeah, thanks as always, love you all. Up till next time, up the Reds.
Up the fucking Reds.